The other big burning topic, which is the debate over the Uniform Civil Code. The political battle lines are now in a constant state of flux after the northeastern partners of the NDA raised some concerns over the potential scrapping of these laws, particularly governing tribal communities. Now the AIADMK, which is the BJP's alliance partner in Tamil Nadu, has come out against the rollout of the UCC. Former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and AIADMK Chief Edappadi K Palaniswami has said that the Uniform Civil Code will hamper legal protections for minorities as well as tribals. It also comes after the DMK, which is the ruling party in Tamil Nadu, also took a similar stand as the principal opposition party, the AIADMK. Both are accusing the BJP of anti-minority politics, and all of this being linked to the road to 2024. On the other hand, opposition partners like the AIADMK Party and the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena have supported the Uniform Civil Code but have questioned its timing. Opposition MPs are also questioning the intent of the government, claiming that instead of having consultations with all stakeholders, the government is wanting to push this through to influence the next parliamentary elections. Meanwhile, there are also reactions from the Vice President, Mr. Dhankar, and also from the Uttarakhand Chief Minister, Pushkar Dhami, after he met with the Prime Minister.
எனவே 2019 நாடாளுமன்ற தேர்தலில் எங்களுடைய அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய
किसी भी किस्म का कोई भी यूसीसी की ना पहले ज़रूरत थी और ना आज है, और ये सिर्फ इससे पहले भी ये बात कही जा चुकी है कि यूसीसी का मसला सिर्फ मुसलमानों का नहीं.
Any further delay in implementation of Uniform Civil Code will be corrosive of our values.
All right, we're getting a piece of breaking news coming in. It's a CNN News 18 exclusive. The centre has now started internal deliberations on the Uniform Civil Code. Sources say a group of ministers headed by Kiren Rijiju has been set up to look into the feasibility and the challenges before a Uniform Civil Code. Sources say the deliberations have begun to look at various impediments, including those from tribals, the Northeast, etc. Smriti Irani will be part of the GOM. Arjun Ram Meghwal, who is the law minister, he will be part of it as well. G. Kishan Reddy, who's just recently been appointed as the Telangana BJP chief. All of these folks will be members of the group of ministers. Sources say that Rijiju has been consulted as far as the Northeast question is concerned, and that he's spoken with all the Northeast chief ministers, including the likes of Conrad Sangma, who has publicly spoken out against a Uniform Civil Code. Arunima has more details on this. Arunima, so as we are seeing, the Law Commission is there, the Parliamentary Committee on UCC is there, and now you have another GOM to iron out what could be some of the impediments or the problem areas. How does the BJP plan to sort of address those concerns, whether it is tribals in the Northeast or even some of its allies like the AIADMK, which has seemingly taken a differing position?
You see, I think the Northeastern belt and Prime Minister's focus on the Northeast has been that, you've been treated badly for all these years. We are here to understand you. We are here to take you along with the mainland India. But the moment UCC debate began, Conrad Sangma, Zorat Sangma, they all started, saying that we are with the NDA as long as you take care of our culture, our, whatever norms we follow. So we told that in this group of ministers, the deliberations are, and this is something that was suggested by Sushil Modi also, who is heading the Parliamentary Standing Committee, whether tribals can be kept out of the ambit of UCC. And the logic being given was that under the 6th schedule, there is protection available for tribal customs, personal laws in the constitution itself. So can that be used as a ground to keep the tribals away from UCC? If they are brought in what form will it be acceptable to them? So all of these are questions before the Bharatiya Janata Party. These are questions before the government, on which we are told deliberations have begun. Marathon meetings happened today also. Conrad Sangma, after meeting Kiren Rijiju, tweeted that he spoke to the former law minister on issues which are of importance to the people of his state. And we are told that at least one round of briefing has happened after these meetings. The briefing has been given to JP Nadda, the BJP president. So there are deliberations happening. It's not an easy task, but the government is intending to iron out as much differences as they can, since the Prime Minister's push has made it clear what the intention of the government is.
And very quickly, what are the timelines that we're looking at? I mean, the GOM has been formed, informal consultations have begun, but surely we are not expecting some kind of a report by this group of ministers in the monsoon session, are we?
I think it will be too early to expect that because these are complex issues. And even though the UCC debate has always been seen as a Hindu-Muslim binary, the fact that, so many levels consultations are happening. And in this GOM also, there are representatives from Northeast, there are representatives from Law Ministry, representatives from Women and Child Development Ministry, makes you get that feeling that the government wants to iron out as many difficult areas as possible before they go to the parliament with that draft.
Okay.
If not in monsoon, perhaps in the next session, the government will be ready.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Arunima, for joining us with that piece of breaking news. We'll keep an eye out on this the progression of this UCC debate, both inside and outside of Parliament. But an interesting twist in terms of the BJP's allies who have taken a deferring position. Latest in that list is the AIADMK, its ally in Tamil Nadu, where EPS, the former chief minister, is saying that they will not be supporting a uniform civil code. Let me now go across to our guest, Karuna Gopal, is political analyst, and A. Saravanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Karuna Gopal, it's a piquant situation in Tamil Nadu where ADMK and DMK hardly can agree on anything. But on this one issue of UCC, ADMK and DMK seem to be on the same page, but the BJP is on a different page. How does one explain this differing and publicly differing position between the BJP and its principal ally in Tamil Nadu, the AIADMK?
Well, this UCC always has been a contentious issue. As you've heard, the whole discussion today is that it has been debated. It's been discussed for a very long time. So obviously, they will have each party will have its own stand on this, and we have a very long task ahead in ironing out those differences. And so obviously, some of them seem to have difference of opinion on this.
No, but isn't it politically also damaging if a principal ally in a big state, it's 39 seats, and a state where, everyone from Prime Minister Amit Shah, they've all been campaigning hard to make serious inroads for the BJP, that its principal ally is publicly differing with it on such a core issue for the BJP?
Look, I think these things, sprout occasionally. These kind of differences do happen. It's not that it has not happened in the past. But I think navigating this humongous task of getting them onto the same page is not an easy task. And I think we are all at it. The consultations are going on. The Law Commission received almost 19 lakh recommendations. We have to really understand, how to arrive at a consensus, how to accommodate, the indigenous tribes, whether to keep them out. But I can tell you one thing, I remember those early days in soon after independence. There was a story, I don't know if it's real, but they said that there is this woman who was a tribal and she was very upset with her husband and she killed him. And when she was arrested and was being taken to the jail, she said, I didn't know the law of the land. I didn't know that if I kill, I have to go to the jail. So that was the situation in terms of criminal code. But today, everybody knows the criminal code is uniform. So there will be a time when the civil code also will be accepted with a lot of awareness, etc.
So let me ask Saravanan of the DMK. The ADMK and DMK from time immemorial have been daggers drawn on every issue. I can't think of one issue where you guys are on the same page, but clearly on the UCC, it seems to be that both DMK and ADMK are on the same page. Does not worry you?
Zaka, ADMK, I don't know what prompted them to take this anti-UCC stand, because even Selvi Jayalalitha was supportive of UCC. In 2003, she supported UCC. Probably they want to iron out their differences with the BJP. They want something from the BJP, and that is why the ADMK is taking such a position of opposing this UCC. We'll have to wait and see whether this opposition will sustain, because all the ministers in the ADMK regime are under the scanner of the ED and the Income Tax Department. That is the reason that alliance is intact. So we'll have to see how this unravels later. Now coming to the UCC, the Supreme Court has made it very, very clear in TMA Pai's case that in a more than a billion population where we have 6,400 castes and subcastes, 18 major religions and several 52 major tribes and several languages and sub-lineal languages, how is it possible to bring in uniformity? Why BJP is so obsessed? Why this toxic obsession over this oneness? You can never bring homogeneity. The beauty is diversity. The BJP wants to somehow bring in homogeneity, and already the UCC has fallen flat. The BJP minister, I think one minister has given a statement that the tribes would be kept away from UCC. Then how will it be UCC? It is not UCC, and they only so far.
No, but Saranan, can I ask you? No, 1 second. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Less as a spokesperson of the DMK, more as a lawyer. Please explain the rationale to me that, let's say, for property rights, right?
Yes.
Muslim women are entitled to 1/8 of property rights, but Hindu women, Christian women, Christian women, I believe it's 1/4 of property rights, and for Hindu women it's half. Considering that there are two siblings, each of them gets half the share of property. Please explain to me as a lawyer how this is equality before law.
Yeah, Zaka, this is definitely not equality before law. But UCC is not the answer for this, because UCC is straight away UCC is straight away hit by Article 13, Article 25. Article 13, it says the state cannot pass any law which is against the fundamental rights. 25, Article 25, it's a freedom to profess religion and religious practices.
But 1 second. But Saranan, you also agreed that this is also unequal, no? Just because a woman happens to be a Muslim, she gets 1/8 property, a Christian gets 1/4 property, and a Hindu gets half property. That's also unequal. That's also violative of fundamental right.
I'm coming to it. This is not as though this is the first time this issue has been raised. This issue has been examined by the Law Commission 2018. A Supreme Court judge, a retired Supreme Court judge, looked into it and said UCC is not necessary. Yes, there are parity. There is no gender parity in certain laws, in certain sections. We'll have to address those issues specifically. That is how you got to go about it. See, UCC, who is going to be Zaka? Let me add one more thing. Even within among the Hindus, in South India, we marry maternal uncles, daughters and sons, and paternal aunts, sons and daughters. We marry sisters' daughters.
Okay.
This is not the same when in North India. They look at 7 gotras. Even within the Hindu community, there is no uniformity. Do you think by one single legislation they are going to do away with this?
Karuna Gopal, one of the hot potato contentions when it comes to UCC is this act, the Hindu Undivided Family Act, whereby inheritance rights, taxation for HUF property is very different from taxation for any other property transaction. How may you please address this, Karuna Gopal?
Look, we, as we said, that a lot of deliberation is going on. Now, the need and necessity for it cannot be negated by anyone, seriously. See, today, if India is progressing economically, India is being understood. Now, what about the societal growth? What about equity and equality in the society? My colleague himself from DMK is admitting that women are shortchanged. They have been shortchanged, and right from 1985, the Shabano case, and when Supreme Court actually worked towards her, and again, the entire community went against and withdrew the whole thing and came out with the Muslim, Women Act. So this is absolute gross injustice, and we will negotiate. Normalization is a process. So if Hindu undivided family has issues, then there is a way to work out. Now, in the 1985 itself, the daughters are being treated equally in terms of inheritance. Today, we are talking about a societal change where women will not be shortchanged. They will not be thrown out of their homes rudderless. And children with problems, children with developmental disorders, all of them today are being on the streets because of these personal laws. So what is wrong in trying to get a society
Okay.
and equalize the society? And why should you argue in favor of personal laws that are discriminatory? For instance, now the DMK spokesperson was saying that diversity is the strength of India. I agree, but diversity that compromises the human dignity and the status of women is by no means fortifying the country. I think that has to be taken note
Yeah,
of.
diversity which is unequal before law is certainly not acceptable. But anyway, Saravanan, final word, 30 seconds. I've got to wrap up after this. Again, you need to explain to us what is the justification for, again, in the case of divorces, right? A Christian woman has to wait 2 years for reconciliation before getting divorced. All other women from all other communities just need to wait 1 year. Is that not unequal before law?
See, that's what the only dimension of this UCC proceeding is this, that we are the saviors. The BJP has suddenly woken up and found that they are going to be the saviors of the Christian women and the Muslim women. We are saying there are ways. This vexed problem has been looked into by a Supreme Court judge, by the Law Commission. They have suggested ways and means. We'll have to address them individually, specifically, not this omnibus UCC.
Okay.
This omnibus UCC is a dog whistle. They want to divert everything, all the issues. They want to keep the UCC as the only debate going to 2024. But people of India are not going to be fooled by this rhetoric and
We'll
this
see if
gimmickry.
this is the only issue
No,
or there
it's,
are other
Dekka,
issues.
it is people like them who said that UPI will not work, digitalization won't work, nothing will work, everything
We
is
never
working.
said
Okay,
that.
all right.
He
I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, Karuna Gopal. Thank you, A. Saravanan. We'll see how this plays out, because clearly it is a big issue. It is an issue that's very much front and center of the news. And it's going to take some time before we get some clarity on how this is going to be implemented, what is going to be the modus operandi, and who is going to support it and who's going to oppose it. So there is a ways to go before UCC becomes a reality.